Hello, it is your girl Esther Joy coming at you with another video. Okay, so I am walking live currently, and we're just walking in the forest, the preserves, and just feeling out. So let's just get into it. I think that by this point you know that I don't know very much. And if you think you know, it's time to forget what you know. Okay, my friend? What do I mean by this? Well, as we can see, a lot of things are changing. Maybe we thought that these things were once stable and unchangeable. A lot of the things that we once knew, we also may be questioning. And I think this is really important when it comes to learning and growing and understanding the neuroplasticity that is within us. So I guess I'm making this video to remind you and myself it's good to forget what you know. Why? Because when you forget what you know, you actually allow other things to grow that otherwise you might have stifled out because you canceled out what you thought was possible. And I wanted to give a few examples because mosquito. Because to be honest, I think we all have had these experiences, whether it's with religion and kind of forgetting what they teach in religion, to gain a further understanding, a deeper understanding of what God is to us by actually building that relationship. What is good, Jay? Awesome to have you here, bro, and I'm sending so much love. But also we can think of this in school. Maybe a lot of the things we were taught in school, I don't know about you, but I've pretty much forgot like around 90% of it because it just wasn't relevant. And I think naturally we're going to forget whatever we don't apply in our lives. And even the things that we do apply in our lives, I think it's important to actually stop and evaluate. Is this projecting me in the timeline that I want to go in? Or is this something that I've already fixed, this limited belief? And so I'm going to think of the example right now of learned helplessness. I think that a lot of people, when it comes to this idea of learned helplessness, we believe because we've seen our parents, we've seen so many people that we know grow up with this mindset of this is just how it is, and that's what we've learned, that we don't even question it. We don't even question it. And I know I've been faced with a lot, school-wise, with university-wise, with figuring out what I want to do. And I think a lot of people, they don't have a clue that there's something beyond this. Like the thought of a degree, which totally has value to those who perceive the value, is something that is so needed to receive abundance, to be stable. Is something that is just so needed in life. And there's been this thought in my mind, even with that, of forgetting what I know, and going more into the unknown, which is a really scary thing. And I think that's why not many people want to forget what they know, because we've been kind of brought up that, if you don't know what you know, then you're dumb, or something like that. You don't know. So why is your opinion relevant or valid? In reality, I think those who are willing to forget what they know are willing to actually let go, good day Isaiah, and to grow in this way where they are understanding that they don't know everything. Oh man, Jedi saw a squirrel. He just hopped that log. Come, Jedi, come. Okay, he's coming back, or not. But I think there's a really big understanding that you don't need to know everything. No one knows everything. And someone who may feel or come off as if they know everything, they definitely don't know everything. I think maybe you've watched like a TED Talk on grit, and they talk a lot about it in that TED Talk about those who are encouraged to learn from those mistakes versus those who are just praised for what they have learned or what they have done, actually end up hurting themselves more because they're thinking, well, if I'm not getting praised for getting the answer right, if I'm not getting praised for knowing the right thing, then I gotta either hide it, I gotta either bullshit it, I gotta like fake it until I make it, when in reality, those that are able to admit, hey, I don't actually know, are given an opportunity to learn and grow. Come, Jedi! So I think there's a lot to say with that idea. And this is something that I'm still fighting with, right? I'm still trying to understand. What am I here to do? What exactly am I here to do? And there was a time where I thought I knew, like 100% I knew. And now more recently, it's actually like, whoa, I don't really know. And I think that's okay. Yeah, knowing yourself is more important than knowing everything, yes. And there's always so much to learn. It's honestly beautiful to not know everything. Yes, it is. Thank you, Isaiah and Jay, because that's 100%. If you deceive yourself into believing that you know everything already, that you know your life path, your mission here, that you know exactly what you're going to do with your future, and you know exactly how this is going to go out and this is going to go out, then you've deceived yourself, and you've taken away the opportunity of getting used to the unknown. And that's something that I think we all can agree on feels really uncomfy, because we don't know what's beyond the unknown. But that's what we're going into. And those who are fearful of this idea of this is not familiar, this is not something that I know, are finding themselves trapped. Learned helplessness. They've learned these patterns, and now they're trapped to these patterns. And I'm going back to the idea of neuroplasticity. When we actually bring that into light, right? Okay, cool. If I'm going to set up these neural connections and say, well, this means this, always, absolutely, I know this for a fact, then I've pretty much put myself in a box. And that's not to say putting yourself in a box isn't sometimes useful, because sometimes it is, right? Sometimes we need to have these structures of like, okay, the sky is blue and I know that, and that's cool. But sometimes we set up these boxes without even knowing that there's actually opportunity to grow and expand, and that this limitation that we thought was something that we couldn't even comprehend being without actually has an end. And actually, we can see beyond that. And so I'm definitely faced with a lot of trying to understand why. Why? Why are we in this situation where it's so important to know things and to solidify them instead of being able to test what we do not know? And right, science is all about falsifying things, right? You're supposed to be able to prove something wrong by testing. Okay, if this is for sure, then let me see what it's not. And by kind of testing out what I don't know, I learn more about it. If that makes any sense. And we can see in the world there's a lot of something else going on. Not really sure what. Jedi, get yourself out of those thorny bushes. Come. Thank you, buddy. And there's a lot to think about this, right? So I just wanted to encourage you that no one has all the answers. And if they say that they do, they are lying to you, okay? Maybe they think it's true, but I think we know better than now, that is false. And it's okay. We're all meant to have the opportunity to experience so much and to learn and grow from what we don't know. And it's honestly beautiful. There's that fear of the unknown that I did also want to address, right? When we don't know what's going on or what is happening, there is this inherent fear that it's going to be the worst thing ever that we could comprehend. But even if we can comprehend it, that means that we feel like we know. And we don't know. We really don't know. Yeah. Jay says it's exciting to see more people taking the time to find out who they are instead of doing the status quo or what external forces want or expect them to do. Amen, bro. Amen. And yeah, if we make experiencing the human experience our purpose, it won't put a limit on what our mission is on this experience. The mission is to live. And you both are like right on point. that's what we're here for, right? Like, so many definitions of what it means to be successful. Oh, success means have a lot of money, have a lot of influence, have a lot of power. People look at you and they think, oh, you're so successful. But in reality, we don't really know that. Who said that was the way it goes? Maybe having success just means that you are satisfied with your human experience, whatever that looks like, in whatever situation that looks like. I would consider that to be successful. So I think that there's just a lot there to dive into. But hey, you don't know what you know. And what you don't know. That, I'm pretty sure is the same thing. But yeah, I wanted to just jump on live to connect with you beautiful souls and to just assure you that it is okay if you do not know the way, right? Do you know the way? It's okay. But if you trust that the way will be shown to you in every moment, if you allow yourself to be okay with the unknown and to be okay with not really knowing what that end goal looks like, just having that feeling and knowing in each moment, if you allow yourself to be okay with the unknown, then you won't be running away from what is beyond what you could imagine to experience. We limit ourselves so easily by our own minds, and it's time to allow yourself to break free and to go through your day knowing that there is a reason. There is a reason why we have these known, and there's a reason why there's something like the unknown to really wake us up. Hi. I don't know what the future holds, my friend. And to be honest, I don't think I want to know. I would rather get more used to being okay with the unknown and training myself to be okay with whatever happens. Right? If someone tells me that, that's not what the chakras are, or that's not everything I've been teaching and learning, and it's actually not right, and if I don't close myself off and I don't get offended by this person's challenging what I know to be true, but I actually see it as, okay, this person is challenging what I know to be true. They are opening me up because maybe I don't know everything, and that's okay. And because of this, I have the opportunity to grow and learn. Hey, there's a point of my life where I'm like, I totally want to be a coder. I totally want to code really rad stuff. But my coding is trash. Does that mean I'm like totally defeated because my HTML pages are not looking good? No, it just means like, okay, cool. I have something that I can learn from. All of the things that we know, take a moment to acknowledge them, okay? Whether it's like success looks a certain way, whether it's someone thinks certainly of you, whether it's just some idea in your mind that is telling you that this is how things are, okay? Like, oh, guess what? It doesn't have to be like that, my friend. It does not have to be like that. And it's okay to allow yourself an opportunity and a moment to really see that things are going to change. Things are changing always. Yeah. I think I also find myself looking at the past, right? Like looking behind me and not really looking forward because I'm so scared of the unknown. Like, what could possibly be in the place I don't know of? That just sounds horrifying. That just sounds scary. And that just sounds like something I don't want because it's not comfy. The unknown is not comfy. It's not your comfort zone. It's the unknown. And that's actually really fun. It's actually something that allows us the opportunity to grow our comfort zone because then we know. But if we never take the moment to look deeply and see that, okay, like, I don't have to know everything. I don't have to stay in this box that I made myself for my own safety, but I can actually see that there's a plan and there's a way, and that I can grow and understand where I'm going from not knowing where I'm going. That's a beauty. That's a beauty, my friend. I definitely feel at this time, I don't know about you, but there's a lot of transition and a little bit of panic because uncertainty, right? There is almost this mist that comes with the unknown. The unknown is dark. It's not something that we can see, but I really feel like that's when the light shines the brightest, when we give ourselves the opportunity to see where we are going and why we are going in that direction. It gives us an opportunity to grow, and without judgment. I totally wish I could tell you the way. I wish I could tell myself the way of which way to go and what to know and what to do. But I don't have a clue, and that rhymed, and I'm dropping parts. But I do know that it's okay to not know. And I think the more comfy we get with this idea of not knowing exactly where we're going and not really possibly seeing the whole picture and understanding that we don't see the whole picture, we actually give ourselves the opportunity to navigate more, to get more comfy with this idea, and to see things more clearly. There is this delusion that we put upon ourselves by thinking that we know everything, by thinking there's only one path, and by thinking that we haven't been learned helplessness in some way, on some level, that is impacting us. And if we give ourselves the opportunity to just be like, okay, hey, this limitation that I was building my whole life on is actually something that I don't have to stop and build my life on anymore because it's not serving me, then we give ourselves the opportunity to grow from that. The unknown is scary, but that's where we're going, fam. I think it's pretty obvious. It's okay to forget what you know in terms of allowing yourself to grow, in terms of really evaluating some of those thoughts that you're having, those limiting beliefs, and to really evaluate what you may have been telling yourself, right? Like, I need to do this to get money, or I need to do this to heal myself, or this is a requirement for this. And maybe taking a moment to just evaluate and understand that you don't really know if that's how it is. Maybe that worked for somebody else, right? Maybe you're using somebody else's example to live a part of your life. But you, the cool thing, are an infinite spiritual being. That's really cool. And so your path is going to look different than each person's path. And so it's okay to have an unknown part where no one else has ventured, where you are the first person to go through this, because again, nothing new is under the sun, but we all have different combinations. And so you can get through whatever is happening. I think there's so many unknowns. So many people are leaving their jobs. The whole world is like flipping upside down, and there's just so much that we don't know. And I honestly have been feeling it high key, my friend, high key. I just don't know, I don't know. And being okay with not knowing and not freaking out or thinking like, okay, you gotta know. Like, if you don't know, then you're lost and your life is in shambles. Like, that's just not true. It's good to have an idea and a clear picture of where you're going or what that looks like, but it's okay if you don't know how you're gonna get there, or even what that end goal really is entirely. And I think that the more we can get comfy with it, like when things really get crazy and we don't know what's happening, instead of being the like 80% of people that will be freaking out because they thought that they knew, and now their world is crumbling because they didn't know, and they have to deal with all of this energy that is just aligning itself so that they can be more in the know, but have to deal with that instead. If you just constantly allow yourself to be like, I don't know, and that's okay, and through every single moment, like, I don't know if I'm gonna get to work today, I don't know if I'm gonna go back to school, I don't know, and it's okay. I don't have to freak out by having all of these projected expectations of how I think things should be, because I know it should be that way, right? it's okay if things are not anyway. And I think that goes back to releasing attachment, releasing expectation, because let's be honest, none of us know what's going on. We have all of these expectations for how we think life should be. We have all these expectations for what we think uh, happiness looks like. We have all these expectations for these things that in reality are so different for each person. And you don't have to put your experience in a box and thinking like, I must be a failure because this is what people say failures are, or I must be successful because this is what success looks like for other people. Your experience is going to look differently. And the more you get comfy with being like, hey, it's okay. You don't need to know what's gonna happen for the end of the day, right? Like, let's be honest, we might not all make it. Like, a meteor might hit Earth, and we might all not make it to the end of the day, if we're being honest. But do we let that keep us from living a life? We're always living in the sea of unknowns, and that's okay. I think the more we can be used to this, the easier it becomes to navigate, because people are going to throw unknowns at you all the time. Things are going to pop up that you never could expect. And if you have no expectations, if you have a released attachment to what you think should happen, you're not going to get angry when those things don't happen, because you're not going to think, I deserved this to happen, or I wanted this to happen, because you don't have those expectations. B, you're going to actually allow yourself the opportunity to be aware and prepared for whatever happens. And the mosquitoes are biting my hands like crazy. So we can always expect the best case scenario to come, but if it doesn't happen, then being okay with the unknown of not actually knowing what's going to happen is good, because it gives us the opportunity to be able to navigate with whatever happens. We're always out here for that navigation. Wow, I didn't realize I could zoom. So you understand me, right? You understand that it's okay. It's okay not to know. If you do think that you know, think again, because you know nothing. I know nothing, and that's okay. It's okay not to know. And if you want to know something, you can always know. You can always know what you want, but be aware that it's not, and nothing is solid, okay? Oh gosh, my camera skills. But yeah, I wanted to just jump in and say that it really is a blessing, because guess what? We in the soup of unknowingness together, okay? Jay says, surrendering and being vulnerable to the unknown. Allow yourself to change the ways that you haven't before. Yes, we all want change in some aspect, right? Like, we all want to be able to do something different. I'm sure, I am absolutely positive that you are probably wanting change, whatever that change looks like, however drastic it may be. You probably want change in your life to some level. And if you cannot release what you once knew and release these expectations, you won't allow yourself to be in that change, because you'll be fixed. These knowings, these thought vibrations that you allow yourself to know, it actually fixes that energy in that one place. Like, you've created a thought form, and that thought form is going to harden the more that you instill this belief that this is solid, that this is what I know, and this is true. And that can be a good or a bad thing depending on how you use this energy. And I think that there are some energies that we can agree we can let go of. Jay said, I saw someone, and I just thought, I'm so happy to have you, love. I saw someone channeling, and they said the best outcome we can come up with was very limited to the best outcomes our higher self can think of. That is very true. There is this understanding that if we release these thought forms of knowing, of thinking that we know what's going to happen, right? Even with the world, we actually allow ourselves to create something that is bigger and better than we could ever imagine. So if you want to create something that is beyond a dream, which dreams are a great symbol, because they are usually something that we would never even imagine of creating consciously in our mind. But there you go, when you sleep, we give ourselves this opportunity to really grow in understanding, right? The best outcome we can come up with is the least likely to happen compared to the unlimited outcomes we have through our higher selves. Knowing is limited. It's okay to know certain things, but it's okay to also forget what you know. Like, no one is telling you have to hold on to this knowing. There's lots of ways that we've trained our mind to believe that this is not so, that we have to know something, and if we don't know something, then something's gonna happen. That's not good. But it's actually okay to not know and to forget what we do know in order to make space for what we would like to believe is out there that we might not know at this moment to grow. Okay, the unknown, the beautiful, magical place that we live in is so ready for you to open up your mind, to really see what is behind the curtain, and to really use this to your advantage. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but I just wanted to just hop in here and say that it's important to know that whatever you're thinking of, whatever has been in your mind, and whatever you feel like you know, you can let it go. If it's meant to be, it will come back, and maybe even in a better way. But it's okay to be dwelling in the unknown. I think a lot of us are feeling like it's a little bit of a limbo of what is happening with the world in so many ways, and just bringing it back to the fact that no one really knows what's going on. We all have a part. So I thank you again for just joining. I love you all so much, and I pray that you continue through the day just knowing that you don't have to know everything, and it's okay. Okay. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you.